Can I hit the thing? Yeah.
Mic check 1, 2.
Thank you for. You got it.
I hope so.
Jill, can you keep it down a little bit? Me and your dad about to do a video, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. We're just making a video together, okay?
Ribs and mac and cheese.
Welcome to Autism and Goodness. My name is Tiffany. I have a special guest. What's your name, young man?
James Jones II.
James Jones the second.
James Jones Sr.
Wow, messing up already. Well,
Cut.
Nope, we're not.
Reverse it.
We can't reverse anything. It's in.
Ugh.
It's in. That's in. It's locked.
These rules suck.
And it's locked. So this is James Sr. And who are you, James Sr.?
I'm married to Tiffany Jones, and I am James's biological dad.
Biological dad. Yikes. Okay, well, thank you for joining Autism and Goodness. Thank you for making time in your very busy schedule. You know, you're a very important gentleman, and we appreciate you joining us. So do you want to intro yourself, or actually do you want to start by talking about how has your journey been with James II and autism?
All right, so going into the memory bank here. So James was born on July 29th, 2005. C-section birth. I was there to see all of that. And and the first, I don't know, year and a half was pretty normal. Probably pushing the age of 2. Maybe 1.5 is when we started to see the speech issue and a little bit of the acting out from him not being able to verbalize himself. Probably about the age of 2 when it was kind of, I don't know, our work schedule probably got a little busier and we had to start leaving him with other people. It was primarily family, but I think we may have started to implement some outside babysitting services. Was when more of it started to come to the surface. So I can recall probably the most vivid one is when he had to go to a neurological neurologist, thank you, thing where they put a bunch of wires on his brain and tried to see what was going on, and they didn't have any answers. And then probably not too far along after that, he started going to therapy at Beaumont, which is where a lot of the issues started to come to the surface. And as Tiffany has said on prior videos, you don't really accept it fully at first. And honestly, the first thought that really ran into my head was he would grow out of it. It is just a phase that he's going through, and it's something that would get better as he gets older. And honestly, it has gotten better, but it's not like he grew out of autism. But us dealing with his issues, we've come to work as a team to better understand what's going on and what has to occur in our lives and also in his life for us to function as a family dealing with a child with a disability.
So how would you say your role as like a dad, like, cause I'm a mom and like moms have different roles than dads. So how would you say your role as a dad, an autism dad, how has your role been like defined by like your experiences?
At first it was tough, knowing you weren't going to have that typical interaction of taking the child out to go play catch or toss the football around or teach them things that you may have learned from an athletic standpoint.
Big sports guy.
And wanting to not really push him down that road, but just see where it go. And then dealing with me and that, let's say, work, and nothing against them, but hey, my child does this. And then I kind of got to say, hey, my child has autism. He's not really into all of that. One thing that really started to stand out, though, was as he was younger, his just knowledge of a PC, of how he could maneuver through a PC, go from screen to
Computer
screen.
for those those Gen Zers out there?
Navigate any website, YouTube. Actually, I'm going to go backwards a little bit here. When he was 2, maybe 3, and I was first understanding what was going on and trying to figure out what was going on between me and him, I was playing Grand Theft Auto. And I think I could play Grand Theft Auto with all the mess going on in Grand Theft Auto. And something piqued his interest in Grand Theft Auto. It's like he started to understand what was going on. So I said, okay, let me stop playing these mature video games around this kid, because he does have something that he is grasping of what I'm doing. So, make a long story short, start not really playing MA video games and really watching a lot of stuff, whether it was music or even movies around him, to make sure that he's not taking in stuff that I think that he's not taking in, because he was taking in stuff. He just wouldn't verbalize it.
Right. Yeah, and I've said before, his input is higher than his output. That's basically what the neurologist told us. Like, back when we got him evaluated before he had the EEG, is that his input is higher than his output. So it's things that you may think he's not understanding because he can't verbalize it, but it's like, oh, then he might show you something or even repeat something, and he's clearly understanding what's happening. So out of everything, like, what is some of your favorite stories about James?
So some of my favorite stories would be when he was younger, we would play this game on our beds where I would play like the big bad wolf, and I would blow him down, and he would just...
I do remember that.
He would fall out like I was blowing like strong wind at him.
I remember that.
He would come back up laughing and giggling, and I'll blow him back down, and he would just take it as just interaction. Not anything he's just pushing back to me, but I was seeing, okay, I can't interact with him. And he was accepting it. Mm-hmm. He used to sing this little songs called Said So.
We really don't know what he was singing, to be honest. He just started singing randomly, and we don't know to this day exactly what he was singing, but we think he was saying Said So.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he would just sing this song, and he'd go high pitch, low pitch with it, and it was... I think Tiffany has a video of it.
I might put it in there if I can find it, but yeah.
Facebook, buddy. Are you done singing? He'll stop in this time. Okay, let me call James Bob real quick.
One of the toughest things was one time I went to a recital at one of his school things, and that's when he started to act out more in public a little bit, and it was during the early stages as well. But as times progressed, we figure out how to handle him.
How has your experience with James changed your perception of autism and special needs?
I'm able to pick up more in public when a person has autism. Even subtle signs, whether they're high functioning or low functioning. And I actually have more empathy to that person. Even sometimes you can tell even I can tell at a grocery store when someone is working a register and they may have autism. I can tell that they are on the spectrum, and you just want to have a positive conversation to boost up their morale and make sure that they know that they're doing good work.
And how do you advocate for people with special needs?
Um, I would say I've had friends reach out to me who kids are kind of at that beginning, early stage, and they want to know what's going on, and I try to build up like this isn't the end to that for that kid, and let you know kind of what my journey has been, what people know what my journey has been, but also just knowing that you have to have empathy towards people. I would say that's probably the biggest thing. So I try to make sure that I do that in public when I do see a person, or even maybe come into conversations with people sometimes to say, hey, it's not really like that. Different people have different functions. You can, because I can even tell in past jobs, especially in the IT field, of a person who either has Asperger's or they may be on the spectrum. They're very high functioning, but all they know is IT work, and they don't know how to have a conversation with a person. Mm-hmm. So I can pick up on that more now as time has progressed.
And what are some things that you would want people to understand about autism?
It's not to use a derogatory term, but it's not like they're dumb. They're not. Their brains are wired in a way that us neurotypical people we don't quite understand. We people who are scientists are trying to figure it out, but everyone who has autism has a different form of autism. It's like there's many different forms of cancer, or many different diseases. Scientists have not yet figured out why everyone acts different. Now, you might have some people who might act the same, but I have not seen people who act exactly the same right. who have autism.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting situation. I don't know if it's natural selection or how it's worked. But maybe one day we'll get an answer.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Just anyone who might be dealing with this. At first, I would say you really want to make a big scene about it, but you gotta come out of the shell of your child being different. You have to be willing to accept it and see what you might need to change personally in your mind and in your heart as to what raising a kid is about, and then be willing not to say this is the way my parents did it, because there's no book on this, and I cannot say even though I love my parents, I can't raise James the same way I was raised or my siblings were raised. This is a totally different ball game, and you have to take the highs with the lows. And I mean, every day is different. Not every day is bad, and not every day is great. I mean, you try to get on an even keel and just roll with life, because you just try to do the best with what you got.
Very well said. Now, I'm sorry, I have another question. I'm off script again. There you go. We're in adult transition mode and trying to figure out what that means. So what do you think, as far as like where he was in the beginning, you talked about the earlier versus where he's at now, like what do you think about that like gap in time and like how he's like changed over the years?
Okay. He's very more independent. He still needs our help. But he can handle himself in public. Don't have to hold his hand and say, we're going over here, we're going over there. He can handle big crowds. One thing,
when
he was
huge.
younger,
Yeah.
He couldn't handle big crowds at all.
Yeah.
He can handle big crowds. I take him
Noises.
to get
Yeah. Where are you
noises.
going Friday?
SmackDown.
So he's going to SmackDown. So just
Yeah,
take his
we've been-
headphones.
And we've been to big events. We've been to SummerSlam. I mean, we've been to football games with 50,000 people. Younger, it was tough, but as he grows into a teenager, he rolls with the punches. I don't have to make sure he's right on my side. He follows me in big crowds. I look out for him, but he can handle his own when he's dealing with a lot of people. And he speaks up for himself more now. He definitely will speak up for himself.
Yeah, he'll. What is your favorite part of him speaking up for himself?
Oh, it's a lot, I guess. Sometimes when I like to take a nap, he has a very comfortable bed. But so I'll go and lay in his bed while he's on his computer. And when I get really tired, I'll snore loud. So he'll kick me out of his room and say I'm snoring too loud. So he speaks up for himself. Or if he just doesn't want to be bothered with my shenanigans. Because I'll just come in there and I'll just start maybe just messing with him, teasing him, or saying, "Hey, what goofy video you watching?" And he'll kick me out. So
Gets kicked out a lot.
he does speak up for himself when he wants some time away from dad.
Well, this morning was it this morning? Earlier today, we're just making sure I'm kind of like make sure he stays on top of like hygiene and things like that. So he had like, something on his teeth. So, and he's a smiley kid. He's happy so you're always seeing this big, beautiful smile. So I said, hey, making sure you get, plaque off your teeth. And he told me, you need to give me some peace. So I was, okay. I was like, well, if you get the plaque off your teeth, I'll give you some peace. I'll leave you alone. So he was like, I mean, you just have to leave me alone. You have to leave me alone. So yeah. So that's him telling me that I'm doing too much, but I need him not to have plaque on his teeth too. So yeah, he does definitely speak up for himself. Is there any questions you have for me? Be interactive.
You seen any changes in me in the last 15, 16 years?
About him or just in general?
About
'Cause
him.
let me. No. I would say I know it was very difficult for you in the early years, as you said, because you were a guy. You were really close with your dad, and you played a lot of sports, and you were like athlete and all that. And I could tell that, for lack of a better term, you were heartbroken a little bit early on, because and I had described it. Just for me in general, it's like when you find out about autism, and you don't really know what it is, it's like it's almost like you heard your child die, because it's like the image that you had of them was just like, it just went out the window and you don't know what this is. So I could tell that it was harder for you early on. But I find that you are, and I feel like you didn't want to talk about it as much, but I find that you're very open to talk about it. Like you said, you have friends that reach out to you that are going through something similar with their children, and you consult and provide advice. And I don't feel that's something you would have done like 15 years ago. So I'm really proud that you've been able to kind of find your way around how to figure it out and understand him. But I think that's the major thing that I've seen. I know it's a little harder for dudes and their sons. So, I just be in the trenches, but like, I know it took you a minute to try to kind of figure your way through it. And I that's the major change I can say I see.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
No? You got nothing else? Gonna wrap it? Wanna cut it?
Cut it and maybe I'll come back.
Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule. I know you're a very busy and important man, so we don't want to take away from that because he has a lot going on. This guy's like, he's bipping and bopping all over, so you got to make sure you catch him. Catch him when you can. But yes, thank you for joining, and hope you can join us again sometime in a future episode. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.